Welcome
Happy
to
Tuesday.
Real Recognized, where real is recognized and we just having a good fucking time.
A great time.
It's your girl So's Dope.
Your fave Big Bay, KOK.
Y ahora tenemos una persona bien especial aquí. Estamos bien excitados. Soy yo.
Estoy feliz.
Te estoy presentando Sofs Mantecada. Y tenemos
Tu favorita cocaína.
I like the cocaína también.
Cocaína.
Y después también tenemos a Marco Lluvia.
Marco Lluvia está presente con nosotros, güey.
¡Uepa! ¿Dónde está mi boricua?
Llegaron mi gente presente.
Hola.
Oh.
Gracias por tenerme aquí esta noche. That's as far as we're gonna go with this.
Estamos muy excitantes con usted.
You got a real Puerto Rican in this motherfucker. That's a real New Yorican, you heard?
That's a fact.
He was Spanish
real
Harlem
New
and shit.
Yorican
Spanish
That's what
Harlem
we do.
shit.
We hit you with the
Barrio.
Spanglish
El
right quick.
Bajío, not el barrio. He's from el Bajío.
in the building.
Y él viene con un cajo.
En un cajo.
Y él come ajo.
Right.
Chacho.
Yo manejo en un cajo.
Yo, we lit. We got Mark Rain in the fucking
I'm
building.
so excited.
What up?
Yo, you already know it's lit in this motherfucker.
What's good? Okay.
What up,
Chilling.
kid?
What up, Sophie?
I'm excited. All right, you already know. We got to get right into this.
Listen, I'm already a little lit. Y'all can see by the tray we have here.
We gave him real recognized brownies and cookies.
And, you know, I'm really excited to be here. Thank you for having me. Shout out
The
to
edible hit, the edible hit.
Real Recognized.
Yeah.
Recognized, that's what you was eating.
Yeah, I recognize what I did there with the Recognized.
Double R.
I got you there. I got you there.
I saw what I did there with that word, but it's all right. Nah,
The
yo,
letter
for
H
real,
goes higher,
this
too.
Is, this
It
is
gets
lit.
bigger.
This is lit. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming.
Yes.
I don't know exactly what's going to happen, but we
Let me tell you, it's going to be a great time.
You already know. It's already going down. We already celebrating. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because this motherfucker got super motherfucking projects going on. Like, y'all gotta understand this, though. You get that? When
But
you in
wait.
the presence of creativity and
But
greatness,
wait, Soap's dope.
and the Puerto Rican one at that way, we gotta big up the Puerto Rican.
Wait.
But can we talk about his past before we go in the future?
Yo, that's a fact.
Because
That's a fact.
I just want to explain to you guys that this guy was a
present.
mechanical engineer. I'm a tow truck driver.
Say that again. Say that again.
A mechanical engineer.
That's fancy as shit.
Like what you was fixing and
That's
shit.
fancy as shit.
Oh my God.
Marco the
that's
builder.
funny. I know, right?
So he's not only funny as shit, but
He
he's real
fixes
smart
shit.
as shit.
He's handy, ladies.
He reads.
That's a fact.
The instructions, and he doesn't. At the end, all the screws are done. He doesn't have extra screws like your husband.
No, he gets it done on the first shot.
Matter of fact, I'll be having extra screws.
And it's still lit. Fuck what you heard. You heard?
I built
Not
it.
breaking
need
I
that
built
much.
it better than the instructions. They use too much
Right.
material.
Right, right.
He got me laughing. I done dribbled on myself. He said it cut
Don't
down
ask
the
me how
cost.
those IKEA tables were afterwards. Don't ask me how long they lasted. I just
50
know that I
screws for
built
what?
them and they were good.
Right,
He
right.
said it's a disposable coffee
They
table.
were functional. Right? The styrofoam
you fold it up and
table
shit.
was functioning. Stop.
Right.
He said it holds the coffee.
Right.
It doesn't say magazine table.
Right.
Listen, as
Right.
long as it does what it's
It holds
supposed
6
to
ounces. One coffee
Right.
cup at a time.
Make sure you don't put a coaster.
do. Yo.
All right, but what is a mechanical engineer? Dead ass.
Oh my God.
¿Qué es eso?
What do you mechanically engineer?
I love that. I haven't thought about my mechanical engineering history in a little bit. Well, mechanical engineering, just so you know, is everything. Like it has something to do. Like a mechanical engineer just understands to some degree about almost everything. Like how this
So you
bottle's
can-
made, how this table's made, this mic stand, the mic, all of this material, everything is mechanical engineering. You see, like there's so many different materials.
Okay, so I got a question.
Yeah, I'm like, this could get real deep.
Right, right. No, I like this. I like this.
Let's go deep, right? Because
You know
we're
what
gonna
I'm
go
saying?
deep, right? So
'Cause we
right,
go deep.
you know everything got mechanics in it, right?
Facts.
So what you saying is you could fix my car, and you could fix my dildo if it goes dead.
Right. But see,
And the
difference-
VCR, because I
but-
still got one.
You
But-
got a VCR?
Yeah.
I got some VHS tapes.
See?
We gotta make
I don't
it
know
a
what's
night.
gonna be on
We
there.
gotta make it a night.
We gonna have to just see,
We can just
just
see
rolling
it.
shit.
I believe it went to sixth grade
I
graduation.
love those VHS tapes, the
saying?
surprise
Yeah,
ones.
the kids today will never
Those are my
know.
favorite. You could be watching
Facts.
in living color and porn in
Facts.
3 minutes.
Facts.
It goes all the way
It
into
could
the
go
extreme.
completely
VHS
left,
tape.
right, and then somebody's
And then the
wedding.
music videos.
Then you pushing the eject button like, damn, I
Right,
thought this
like,
was
stop,
the
stop.
Easter
Psych,
fucking.
psych.
I
This
thought
not
this was
ET? This not
Easter.
ET?
You got Tuesday's Hold the Box recorded.
Right.
Shit, mommy, I thought it was the Goonies.
It is somewhere in there. Just
It's
fast
not
forward.
my fault. That's what they play after 2.
Listen,
Right.
nah, but yeah, there's a difference though from being a mechanic and a mechanical engineer. Although the mechanical engineer will have knowledge about what the mechanic's job is, but the mechanic's job is specifically to fix cars.
Cars, right. It's more
Mechanical
detailed, it's tailored.
engineering is literally like this chair. Everything to some degree takes mechanical engineering.
Okay,
You see,
so you can
because
fix it.
like for example, how many different mic stand companies are out there in the world?
Right.
Probably thousands, right?
Yes.
What's the difference? The difference would be like the make of it, the material of it,
Right.
the design. That's all mechanical engineering.
Wow.
What makes this one better than that one, right? And so at the time when I was doing it, I was really good at math.
What?
Yeah, I was just really good at math.
He knows how to count money and shit.
That's what's up.
Numbers like they just, I guess I don't know. They worked in my brain.
Right, your brain just-
My dad was an engineer, so he kind of like pushed that on me.
Heard you,
to know math.
right.
And so every grade, I just kind of excelled at math. Long story short, in the beginning, I, like everyone else, trying to figure out what you're gonna do in your
Right,
life.
right.
You don't know exactly what you're gonna do.
Right.
He didn't know he was gonna be this funny and shit.
Right. I mean, like I was always a clown.
Right.
That was always there. My energy was always like there's like
Oh.
my mom, speaking of VHS tapes, there's like a tape my mom loves to remind me of where like I'm a kid and like I can't stop. Like the camera can't. Like I'm blurry on the camera.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
Like wilding out. She's like, muchacho, pero date quieto. You know what I mean? She's like,
But you loved it.
And I was just wilding. But I wanted to be a boxer at first.
Oh.
I used to get into a lot of fights.
Did you take any like courses and
I
like
did. But
Dope.
also, like I said, got into a lot of fights just coming from Spanish Harlem.
Yeah, you already know.
That's
So your
kinda
your
happened.
hands was quick.
Push it, New
I mean,
York shit.
man, I broke this.
He got
knuckle
knuckles
here.
and shit. He got knuckles and shit.
He
I broke
do.
this knuckle right here, hit somebody. I got a couple scars, but we're not here for that. We're not here for that.
Right,
That's
right. We on
Mark.
peace mode now.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
Facts.
yeah.
It's all
But just so
about
you know,
the
it
facts.
That was in
down
his
for
past.
peace
the,
to-
the, the lion.
Get that?
The lion chills in the den these
Hello.
days. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
Hello, but don't
But don't
poke
make
the
him come out
beast.
to the wild.
Don't poke the fucking
Facts.
beast. You heard?
That's a fact. But so I wanted to be a boxer, but at the time my girlfriend was like, no, like
Right.
that kind of thing. Like,
Right.
you're gonna get hit. And I was like, I ain't gonna get hit. And I was like, yeah, I'm probably gonna get hit. So I was like, well, let me not do that. But then I wanted to be a lawyer, right?
Ooh.
And the idea there was I was attracted, and I only understand this now looking back, but I realized what I was attracted to being a lawyer was the performance part of it, which was like debating facts.
Right.
Because I have a way with words, and so it was like debating facts and articulating them in a way that it's gonna make everyone understand
And
it.
get
He
your
said he
point
always
across.
got out of trouble when he
Like
was a
really
kid.
get your point. Yeah.
I've gotten my way out of trouble.
He took his way out of the
He got the
principal's
gift of
office.
gab. You already know.
Couple things, couple times.
He got
That's
pulled
dope.
over with no license at 13 and told the cops that it was his brother's.
Facts. I've been in some situations, but then in high school I did a law internship program.
Whoa, dope.
And
That's
that's
fire.
when I realized that that's
didn't want
really
it.
It wasn't for you.
Yeah,
Right.
it happens.
It was too
I
much
took
reading.
nursing.
It was just too much reading for
It's
me.
mundane.
I was mathematical.
Right.
Reading. It wasn't that I couldn't read. I can read perfectly
Right.
fine. It was just like there's so much reading.
Right.
And history is not my favorite thing. There's a lot of like all that kind of
Yes.
a
a lot of
back
bullshit.
in
Right.
Bob
whatever,
versus
and-
Ryder.
Right.
Yeah, and
Law
Article
number
5.1.
15.283B.
Right. Lawyers, trust me, I
In
know.
section, kiss my ass.
Right.
And go,
Suck a
F
dick.
yourself. It says and states.
In
Like I was
2.1
like,
Article A.
I was like, nah.
Section, your wife is cheating on you because you're never home.
Fact. I was just like,
Affidavit of my ass? Yes. That affidavit?
Asta David, you said?
Ask David.
You already know? Okay.
And so I was like, not for me, And then,
He wasn't with the penal codes.
I was like, I don't want to deal with that, And so then, plus then, like I started, maturing and understanding that like the law. I just feel a certain way about the law, and it's very manipulative, you know. And
Especially before this year.
The best lawyer really ultimately is the best manipulator, you know.
Right. That is correct.
And so I don't want to be that. I didn't want to become that.
Well,
That's
shout out
not,
to you for
that's
that.
not
I
for
like
me.
that.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was like, I can't do that for a living.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's
Right.
my soul wouldn't let me.
Right.
Like,
Right.
just so I can win it. No, I'm too honest for
already
that.
know.
And so then I kind of like stumbled upon engineering. My dad's an engineer. I look up to my father. He's my superhero.
That's
you know.
dope. I love to hear that.
Shout
Shout
my
out
dad.
to
My
Senor. Shout out
parents-
to the dad that was there.
Right. Dad
Senor Juvia Senior.
Yo, I'm done.
Papa Juvia.
Both my parents, though, like literally molded the person who I am.
Shout out to your parents.
Yeah, I give them a lot of credit. I owe everything to my
I mean, that's
parents,
dope. I
honestly.
mean, he's Puerto Rican, obviously. Came
yeah,
here and did engineering.
yeah.
Like, you got to think about that,
Right.
guys. Like,
Right.
that's a big thing. Like,
Right.
people didn't come from
really
Puerto
is.
Rico and decide to do stuff like that because
No,
we was
porque
always
hacen
boxed
pastelitos en el parque.
into
Right.
like, oh, they're Puerto Rican. He could lift shit.
Right.
He could clean shit.
Yeah.
Or make
That's a strong
bacalaitos.
nigga,
That's a
right?
fact.
And he could cook, right?
And I mean,
That's
honestly, it started that way for my dad. Truthfully speaking, you know, he started from the bottom. Like he was in his company, he was a wire rapper. You know what I mean? Like what he did was
In the
just,
same company where he's an engineer.
Well, my dad's retired now, but yeah, in the
That's
same
amazing.
company
That is
amazing.
that he was
I
in.
love to hear some
He was a
stories
wire
like
rapper,
that.
and then he became the director of engineering. Like
That's
he
fucking
was,
great.
he literally was the brain of
Yo.
the company.
He did what the fuck he had
And
to do.
You come from greatness.
yeah,
I get it now.
appreciate
I
that.
get it. Yes, it makes
Strive
sense.
appreciate
though.
that.
and power.
It makes sense.
Yeah, my parents, you know, I they're literally 50-50 of me. You know, I get 50 from my dad this, 50
Yes.
from my mom that.
Yes.
You know, because my mathematical and more calculated side comes from my dad,
Mm-hmm.
but then like my dramatics and my emotional
Yes.
connection, it
Comes
comes from
from
my
your
mom.
mom.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Do you have brothers and sisters?
Where does the
I
funny
I
come
do.
from?
The funny comes from both of them, actually.
They're funny,
They're
hilarious,
both,
I believe
they're
you.
both hilarious.
Typical
but
Puerto Rican. You
you know what I'm
already
saying?
funny.
But you know, for the record, I found out later, like in my life, that I wasn't just pure breed Puerto Rican, and I want to make this, you know, because I want to start
Ooh.
talking about this a little bit
Yeah,
more.
heritage.
But,
Okay, yes, that's interesting.
Because I was raised Puerto Rican, you
Okay.
understand? But there's like I'm like a third Peruvian.
So
Shut
am
the fuck up. So
I.
is this
Yeah.
Caraculiti?
You're like the third
Yeah,
Peruvian
shit.
I met in my life.
All right, that's it. No more bonding off of that because
Yo.
I'm not Peruvian.
Don't be mad, bitch.
I need in on this love. Fuck that.
Nah, and so
We vibing on the Puerto
but,
Rican
but,
side.
But the only reason why
no,
that
we
is
Peruvian over here. Chill, we back to Peruvians.
the only
likes
reason
Pio
why
Pio.
that is because my dad's dad was Peruvian,
Salchipapa.
but he passed away when my dad was a baby, so my dad never met him. My dad never knew
Wow.
him. So that family
It
connection
didn't-
came late. I remember I was like, I don't even know, maybe 11, 12, and I was like,
Really?
we got Peruvian family? What you talking about? I was like, I'm
That's
Puerto
why you
Rican.
look like you my cousin and
You know what I
shit.
mean? Yeah,
It's
I mean,
the
who
skin.
knows?
I feel like
we
it.
gotta check. I gotta find you on
we gotta
Facebook.
check.
Facebook is the family app.
You
Right, right.
Rodriguez.
I call that the
You
I call that the
Rodriguez.
family app.
It
Nah.
is. It is.
You know Rodriguez? What's your last
Nah,
name?
I got some family that's Rodriguez.
I'm
See,
telling you.
viste?
You know.
There's another connection.
Tú eres
Okay.
Pérez. Tú eres Pérez de
Right,
Puerto
I was
Rico.
gonna say, girl, let's get back to the Puerto Rican side.
Tú eres Pérez.
But no, I'm Torres.
Pero los Torres viven allí
We reaching,
en la
we
esquina de la
reaching.
cueva.
Yo, from Ponce. Nah, that's my mom. My mom from
No,
Ponce.
so wait, so
My
when you
dad's from
got in
Caguas.
touch with the Peruvian side, how was that? Like, that must have been amazing.
Honestly, I'm still getting in touch with it. I'll be honest.
Don't
Like,
you feel
know,
foreign?
like, when I met them, I was just kind of too young to have the maturity to understand. I
Right,
was just like,
right.
what?
I get
I'm
that. I get that.
completely Puerto Rican. Like, I
Right.
don't understand this. You
I
know
go
what
to the Puerto
mean?
Rican parade every year
And it
and
was
shit.
just like, cool. They tell me they're my cousin. All right, but I see you like once a year, if ever, you know?
Right.
And I just met you. So, like, it didn't take priority. It didn't take, like, there wasn't a strong influence. So I never understood, like, the heritage or the culture, you know? But more recently in my life,
It's
Peru
very
has been
Indian.
calling out to me, you know, in
I
a
love
spiritual way.
that,
And it's really weird.
yes.
Yeah,
no,
it's
that's
really
just
The
interesting.
more
roots.
aligned you are with yourself,
Right, well,
is telling you like that's no,
Exactly.
that's real shit. Your ancestors are like, you gotta know your past.
Well, look,
Right.
I mean, you know, for those that are watching that may not be into that kind of stuff, or for those thinking about being more connected to that stuff, you have to be just open.
You do.
You know what I mean?
I
You
agree.
literally like, and it sounds naive, it sounds ignorant, it sounds silly.
You gotta believe like Peter Pan,
but
or you won't fly.
You have to be open to receive these universal, divine, whatever you want to call it,
Energies, messages, like
you know, moments, right?
It's
Because
true.
it happens, it could literally be anything, you know? And so anyway, getting back to
that's real shit though.
that's real word.
That's real
and so
shit.
that's just
No,
on the
that's
record. You know what I
real
mean?
shit,
Because I
though.
definitely want to start talking about my Peru roots. I'm trying to dive into them more.
I want to let you
know what I
know
mean?
that, right? I always, she could tell you, I rep the Peruvian side a lot because
Yeah.
my mom and my grandmother were Peruvian, and that's what I was raised by.
Mm.
But my grandmother lived in Puerto Rico so many years that she
Gotcha.
had Puerto Rican traditions.
Right.
So it was
Got
like,
you. I know
she
what
was
that's
like mixed.
yeah.
She was mixed without being mixed. You know what
Got
I'm
you.
saying? But one
Puerto
thing I
Rican
can
by
tell you is that
penetration. Y'all know about that.
when
Yo,
I
I'm
went
outta
in,
here.
stop talking about Willow Vito and Mimi being penetrated and stuff.
I mean, that's
it's
how we
creeping
got
me
here
out.
through his nut.
It's creeping me out.
I'm just saying, that's how it happened. It's real
They
nigga
never
shit.
had sex.
It's real. We on real recognize.
Yo.
We just keeping it motherfucking real.
Right, facts.
But when I really, you know, my grandmother instilled a lot of the Peruvian in me. But what I love is like the colors,
Yes.
and you know,
Yes.
we hold a lot on the llamas and the camels,
Yes.
and you know,
Right.
we're very Indian. Our
Well,
background
that's-
is very very Indian.
Well, that's
Inca.
right, and that's what I'm so curious
Maya
about.
and shit, yeah. Mhm.
That's what I'm so curious about, because, you know, as I continue, like I'm constantly reaching out, trying to grow more as just a person, as an artist, and then just spiritually, right? Like, and so Peru, in many different ways, just been like calling out to me, and like I remember, I don't know, like I was maybe like 25 or something like that when I was like I started to tell people like, yeah, I'm Puerto Rican and Peruvian, you know,
Oh.
because for a long time I was just say I was just Peruvian,
Right.
I mean
Puerto
Puerto Rican,
Rican, right.
because I didn't like.
You didn't know. You
identify.
Nothing about
yeah.
like all I knew about Peru. It was like ceviche, you know. What I
Right,
mean?
right.
Yeah,
Um,
salchipapas. I
Like,
said that.
right,
Pew, pew.
like right, exactly. But then like as I started to like look into it a little bit more, as it turns out, check how crazy this is.
I'm ready.
My birthday is July 28th,
Okay.
which is actually the Peruvian Independence Day.
Shut the
Fire
fuck up.
as things align.
If that's not your ancestors
You
talking
know
to
what
you,
I'm saying?
Absolutely.
telling you that you need to know
Go-
your
I gotta go
roots
over
and-
there. Yeah.
you
yeah, you have to
absolutely
go.
do.
Yeah, you
I
do.
know.
That's what you
It's
need
so
to do.
weird. And then about one time, like 2 years ago, I got cast in this project, and it was a wild experience because they did a mold on my head, and you know the molds, it's how they make the mask. You know,
Right.
it's like the special effects makeup, so that
Right.
it's not like a Halloween mask. Like the mask is literally specifically made from my face, so that
Like
it goes
Mrs. Doubtfire.
right.
Like,
So right, exactly.
you know, like the-
so that exactly,
right.
so that it goes on me. And I can talk, and it moves with my face,
Right,
and
which
it's gonna
is
look
amazing.
crazy, right? And that experience was.
I was gonna
wild.
ask you, like, how is that?
That was
like,
wild because let me tell you something. You have to be.
which project was this? Which project?
This was it was an unfinished project. Unfortunately, due to funds, which
Okay,
is usually
okay.
like a big
It
block,
happens,
a
right.
roadblock for indie film
Right.
and creatives, because you want to do something so great and
so grand. It's
you,
true.
you really can't do it like on some
On
like
the
there's certain
budget.
levels of indie, like okay, you get away with this indie for this concept, but certain concepts you just to really get it done the right way, you need a certain amount
you have
of
to
money.
go.
And so,
Yeah, you have to go the extra mile.
but anyway, they were really cool. The Henson company was backing that up at the time.
Wow.
Yeah, it was gonna be
That's
like
dope.
like a puppet. Yeah, it
That
was so
is
cool.
amazing.
And it was, but before I go into the experience, just to finish up the Peru
Right.
thing, what was interesting, they cast me and I was gonna play this mythical like character, because it was gonna be like an interesting film with different art forms. So there was gonna be like film, there was gonna be stop motion.
Ooh, like different textures, like
they
different
were-
visuals.
right, different types of media.
Ooh, I love
Okay.
shit
You
like
know,
that.
animation, all types of stuff. And so my character was gonna be a ancient Peruvian god, as it turned
Wow.
out. Yeah. And
telling
the
you.
crazy
So
part
it's
is
really been calling
Yo,
out to
I'm
you
trying
for
to tell
years.
you,
He
I'm
has
trying
to
tell
go.
you.
He has
It's
to
really
go.
been cool.
Like,
Wow.
I'm not making this up. I don't make nothing
That's
up.
dope. I say
You know,
You
and
on real
so-
recognized. We know you
Facts.
ain't lying on here.
And it was crazy because I was so sad that project didn't go through because they create the mold, right? So what
Alright.
they do is it's about an hour and some change.
Damn. That's a lot too, though, to sit there.
All that
Because
makeup
how are
and the
you
gook on the
like
face.
my question is
all-
the breathing part.
Right. That's
Like, how are you-
that's shit.
Right.
So they completely cover you. You can't see, you can't hear, you can't speak. All you can do is just breathe through your nose.
So
for
they
an
put
hour.
something there that the
No.
mold doesn't fall on it, or
No, they just
Okay.
carefully
Okay,
put it
okay,
around.
okay.
But I'll tell you like this: when you have your eyes closed, you don't know. You know what I mean? Like you're just freaking out. And so I had my brother there, and this was a crazy experience because they start the whole thing, and you think you got it. You know what I mean? You really got to be solid. you can't be a panicky person to do this shit.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
because like I'm not a panic person, you know. And as an actor, you should take breathing courses and so understand, you know, how to breathe, because breathing is a major part of acting.
Major part
And
of
so,
life.
well, right, life. I mean, right.
Period.
Right. I
Exactly.
mean, but just because
But
it
yes.
does, yeah, I get it. I get it.
Like not for the obvious reasons,
Right,
right?
right.
Like you need to breathe to
Like,
survive. You need a little bit of fucking
No
oxygen.
shit. No shit ain't shit.
So obviously breathing is important. To everybody, motherfucker, not just actors.
Duh.
We don't have gills and shit.
To podcasters too, what happened? We gotta breathe, new style. No, but you know, it was like 2 moments where I was sitting there and I had, you know, I didn't really know what I was getting into, and so I was just kind of like comfortably sitting. But after like 45 minutes, it gets, you know, like solid. So now I'm sitting like this.
Like constrained.
All I want to do is this, but I can't because I got the mold on me.
Oh,
So I
you
can't
already-
move. So now I'm stuck. So now my neck's starting to hurt, and I can't. I'm just like this. Trying not to freak out. You know what I mean? Like if you got claustrophobia, you're never gonna do that. You're never doing that.
Yeah, because my brain goes into like, you know, like stupid shit like Kill Bill, like being in the coffin, like not being able to move.
I
Like,
had to literally like meditate.
That's that's a
Zen.
mental thing.
Like I had
Yes.
to like I had moments like I just wanted to be like I wanted to like get me out, like get the shit off me type shit. You know what I mean? I was like,
That's a big part of being an actor too, though.
and I was like, calm down.
Right.
You know what I mean? And
I
it
used
was,
to practice that Kill Bill shit in my bunk bed. I used to be like this.
yeah, I'm done.
Yeah, you want-
And so no, but there was like one moment where like they were putting all the, you know, I forget what the material's called, but the mold stuff, they're putting it around my nose. Yeah, it was like it's like I forget what it's.
yeah, because it
it's,
moves
you know,
with you after a while, right?
The molding
Right.
thing, you know, they started putting it around my nose, and that's when I started to freak out because again, you don't know. So I felt like she was putting it
Blocking
around,
Oui,
and it
oui.
might have been closing in.
Oui.
So I'm like,
Peep this, peep this, peep
check
this.
this out.
Peep the
And I
nostrils.
could hear, right? She's like, oh, wait, I think he's trying. She's like, because the director was a woman. Shout out to Alba.
Yes.
Hey,
Female
Alba.
director.
Rican. Facts. She's dope, man.
Love that.
She's really,
Yes.
really dope.
God bless her.
They're superstars. But so, she's like, oh, I think he's trying to say something. And I'm going like this.
Like you get that? You get that?
You know what I'm saying?
Like you get it? Nose, nostril,
open.
breathing, open, right.
She goes, I think he wants you to take a picture.
No.
No.
So I'm like this.
I'm
Take a shot. Take a shot.
I'm like this. She's like, oh, no. Thank God my brother was there. We have like telepathy sometimes.
He's like, he can't breathe.
yeah.
My
And
brother
so I
can't
was
breathe.
like, he was like, I think he wants you to check his nostrils. And I was like,
Yes.
she's like, oh,
You should've done
okay. Yeah, no, I swear to God. I
like
was like,
charades. Yes. I love it. I love it.
like if I could go bing, I can't say nothing though.
Ding, ding, ding.
I can't do shit. So I'm just like snapping, like yes.
Wow.
So she's like, oh, okay. So she gets like a flashlight. She's like checking in my nose. She's like, no, like everything's clear. Like you have so much space. And so I just had to mentally
Yes,
hear
tell
that
yourself, yes.
because you know the sense. This is why all your senses, you know, help you. It gives you all the information.
And your brain
need.
is just so
You know
powerful.
what I mean? Right.
Because it's like she put it on my nose. I
Right.
cannot breathe.
Like, because if that shit closes,
He was
I cannot breathe. I know it. I know it.
Not
I know
there.
it.
You know how long
Not
you gotta
that
hold
hole.
your breath?
He said not that hole. Wrong hole. Wrong
right.
hole.
you know how long you gotta hold your breath to fucking pull that shit? Like, you're freaking out. Like, you can't do it. So anyway, so yeah, that was a whole experience, man.
So how was
That
it taking it
like-
off though? Like
That
what's
was great. So then, like, once they're done, once she was like, okay, because you know, there's like couple layers. You do like one layer,
my
then
God.
the layer has to dry. That's why it takes so long.
Oh my
then they
God.
gotta do another layer.
No, that's
Then
too
they
much.
gotta do the plaster layer where it looks like they put a cast on
no.
my fucking head. You know what I mean? And then they gotta cut it from the back.
I was gonna say that they do the salting and go zzz
Now
on
they
your
gotta
head.
cut it from the back, and it really, really, really felt like the Jim Carrey, like in the mask. He's like,
Yeah.
it was like that. Like I swear to God. And then what's crazy that you looked in it. I got the photos on my face,
And your face is in there.
and you can see my face.
That's
in there.
amazing.
That
He
shit
said,
was
"That's my
crazy."
face."
That's
I was
amazing.
looking at it, shit like, oh, that's
It's a mi
crazy.
cara.
He said, "It's a
I
meal."
was like, wow, I never want to do that again. Never want to do that shit unless I'm
He was
getting
like,
paid.
this was a great
mad
one-time
money.
Right,
experience.
right.
Because, you know, in film, I'll probably have to do it again. But at that point, I'll be getting paid
Enough
to
to
do that
not care if
shit.
your
Right.
nostrils are plugged
Right.
up.
Because then I can just focus on that dollar. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
Yeah, let's get it done. You know?
It's worth it. It's worth it. It's worth
Facts.
it.
He
It's worth
closes his
facts.
eyes. He's fucking smoking with
Facts,
Benjamin
you know
and
what I'm
shit.
I'm gonna just sit in that mold and count to 1 million. Because that's the check.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
You heard that? You heard that? That's
Manifest
covered.
that shit. That
Amen.
move.
That's covered.
And
Yes.
so, but yeah, so, you know, we went like tangent. So back to mechanical engineering. So then the idea
That's what we do.
We're working on.
for the mechanical engineering was I wanted to design cars.
Ooh, design.
Really
Design
liked
them.
cars. And so it was like, I remember back then I used to know like all the cars' names, the models.
Now design your
like,
own car, or design for
right.
somebody.
Well, I mean, like design my car maybe for somebody or
Right,
my
right.
own. Like, I mean,
He wanted
you
to get
know,
a contract with BMW and
Right.
shit.
I was just trying to see
Right,
what
like-
brand he was going with.
I mean, like the way I'm just built, it would have like I would have started maybe with Toyota or
Right.
whoever, but then I would have ultimately tried to be my own Tesla. You know what I mean?
You heard
Like,
that?
'cause-
His car
where
would have
I
been
was
called
going.
Juvia.
Yo, facts.
Hey, did you cop the new Juvia? I saw that shit coming on the
Your
block.
tagline is "Bitches get wet when they get in."
Yo, I'm done.
Sold.
Oh my god.
Nigga, you're a multi-billionaire.
Check out the windshield wipers on Juvia.
Let's get a
It comes from the
billion
top. It
orders
pours
of
on the top from the
those.
top.
Those are gonna be the vehicles on Mars. Let's
Right,
get them.
Right.
I'm
No,
with it.
but it so happened like that, and then you know, I was like, it seemed like a clear path to me. It was like, well, I'll become a mechanical engineer. My dad's the boss, so I could just work under him until the next thing. You know what I
Right,
mean? Like,
right.
who can tell that far? You know, and so I went to school. I went to City Tech out here in Brooklyn,
Lit.
and you know, I got my associates there.
Okay.
And that was really cool. But then I went to City College in Harlem, 138th in Amsterdam, and they have a great mechanical engineering program. So I transferred there, and I got accepted to there to do my bachelor's in mechanical engineering.
Shit.
And
Check out the brains on Brad.
you know what I'm saying?
And then he got himself a wig.
Yo, what? And then what happened was
The way the cookie
is where the
crumbled.
plot
that shit
thickens.
take a while left.
This is
when
where
you
the
say
plot
that.
thickens.
Facts. You know that shit take a while left when someone say
Did the
that.
meat, did the meat.
Uh-oh. But it's snap, like put your seatbelt on now. But
What was
I
the
was,
shift? What was the change?
you know, I went to my first day of class and I had like I was a full-time student, so I had like 5 classes just off equations, like literally everything. It was like
Shit.
it was like
Numbers,
thermodynamics.
numbers.
It was like metaphysics. It was like
They say numbers drive you
it was
crazy.
like calculus 2. I don't remember all of them, but it was crazy. So my first class was calculus 2. And I remember I was really good at math. I'm really grateful though for the engineering time because it really molded my brain, and I view everything in equations.
That's
Like
dope.
my brain is a problem
I wanted to
solving
ask
machine.
you that, how you applied that knowledge to filmography.
Oh my god!
But we'll get there. We'll get there.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, you know, I was sitting in calculus 2, and you know, the professor, he put the longest equation I ever seen in my life, and I was like,
One of those.
my spirit was just literally was like, this ain't it. This is not it.
Right.
You know, and it wasn't that I couldn't solve that problem
but there was
because
no joy
at
in
that
it.
point in math, it literally just becomes like, how well can you remember certain equations
Right.
that are
right.
going to help you solve certain sections? You know what I'm saying? Because it's just a derivation of a derivation, and the answer is a fucking equation.
It's right. It's not even like you
It's
get
not
a
a
number.
solid
It's like
number.
no. It's
No.
gonna balance out on the
No,
other
no,
side.
it's
with a
another
whole-
problem. It's a whole other problem.
It's a fucking Venus divided by
Right.
Jupiter equals Mars over Earth. Like the fuck? You know
Even
what I
though the
mean?
moon is
Like,
not
yeah,
out
like,
in outer
there's
space,
some
it's like in our
crazy,
circumference,
you
it's in
know,
our
there's
atmosphere.
like-
Carry
and
the
shit.
1 divided by 2 is too much.
There's like pies and shit. It's weird.
No,
you
yeah,
know?
I can't. No, yeah, it's like
It's a lot.
we
And
not
so-
eating it. We not
Word.
eating the pies. No,
Right.
all right.
You know.
And there's leftover pie. My mama told me
Right.
don't waste my food.
Right. Who came up with this pie? So
Fractions. No.
No.
Nah, it
We
was,
want
it
everything
Was,
We
whole
do
up over
things
here.
all the way to the end.
Yeah, we want it
no
whole
half-ass
over
over
it
here.
was like that question could have taken like 30 minutes. You know, if you know what you're doing.
Right.
You know, because it's just so
He
much.
said if you know what you're doing.
Right. Like I remember.
I ain't gonna hold you. I
remember-
would quit halfway
Yeah.
through the
But
Yo.
but you're
Problem.
there like now.
Well, so right. So I was there, and then I saw the equation. My spirit was just like, nah, we're not doing this. And I had found out that City College had a bachelor in theater. So I used to sit in the front of the class. If there's anybody still in school, I recommend you sit in the front of the class.
Shout out to that advice.
I'm gonna tell you why.
Yes.
I'm gonna tell you why, because I've been the guy in the back. You know what I mean? And there's too many distractions.
Right.
You understand? Like, it's too
Right.
easy to get distracted by whoever's next to you, or these days your damn phone, right? Or whatever's in your mind is too easy. When you're in front, you're forced to pay attention a little bit more,
and you're helped more,
and
like naturally.
But let me tell y'all something. Like, I wasn't a straight A student, but I wasn't like a CD. Like, I was like B plus, B minus on a bad day.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? And it wasn't because I couldn't be the A student, right? Because that just takes a certain different discipline,
right?
But like, I didn't spend a lot of time studying, because sitting in front, paying attention, then just doing my homework.
You captured it.
I passed every test.
Right.
I didn't have to study.
Right.
Like, that's the secret.
Right.
That's what y'all don't understand.
That is the secret.
I'm telling you, like,
that's
everyone
a fact.
like kills themselves in school.
You capture it first round.
Because they're like, oh my God, I gotta study, I gotta study, I gotta study. You don't gotta fucking study if you was paying attention and just doing your homework. Because whatever's on the test is gonna be that.
Right.
It's not gonna be nothing different.
Right.
You know what I mean?
The teacher legally can't put something that she ain't show you. You get that?
Even though sometimes they be fucking up, they be doing that, but it's all right. You know, look, if you want to be the 4.0 GPA, then yeah, you're gonna be studying your fucking life away. Right. You understand? But you know, whatever. Point is that I got up in the middle of the class, and it was funny because I had a big ass binder, like it was like a leather, like the binder that had every class in it.
Yeah. With map pockets and zippers and
the trapper keeper.
5-star, of
she
course.
had the cargo pocket. You know what I'm saying? Had the little,
you had your pens. Everything was in there. The sharpener, the little
door
eraser.
for Narnia. It was weird.
I'm done.
Yeah, no.
Had to pop up, you know.
What I mean? Word. That shit played music
with
when
the
it
classes,
opened.
yeah, like pop up next class.
That shit said, yeah.
Right.
Nah,
Pass me the bottle for that.
Yeah.
I'm still thinking about Narnia over here. I love Narnia.
So,
I want to go to Narnia.
Right.
So, you know, I got up and I was just like, I'm sorry, Professor, I gotta go. You know, he just looked a little confused, but whatever. You know, I walk over to the theater department and I walk into the first office I see, and it was Julio Matos, who ended up being my mentor. Shout out to him.
Shout out to Julio.
You know, and
Julio Matos.
Professor Julio Matos. And so, you know, I told him my story and what I wanted to do, switch my major. And as it turned out, I was a day late. The day to switch my major was the day before. So he was like, oh my God, you missed the deadline. So I was like, no way. Like,
I can't do this.
Like a whole semester of this. I was like,
don't make me do this.
He was like, you know what? Let me get all your stuff. Like, let me see what I could do. So I gave it to him. And he came back 10 minutes later and was like, well, you're now an acting student.
Yo, shout out to Professor Matos. Nice.
That's
my nigga Julio. Yes, bless up.
He was like, you're late to your first class. He's gonna be in now.
Julio Matos, you're gonna be in his acceptance speech for the Oscar.
Facts. I told him that. You know, because he was like, yo, you're now, you know, a student. I was late to like acting 101, and I ran in, and it was history after that. You know, I was like blown away, you know, by what I was just feeling. You see, because the whole switch came from. I used to work at Jazz and Lincoln Center on 59th Columbus Circle, and I was an assistant head usher there. So I was like one of the bosses, and I was like,
right. And you got to see shit though, but you got to see acting. He was already exposed
with the clipboard and all of that. You know what I mean?
He was like,
oh yeah, no. In that place, I met so many famous people.
What I'm
it was
saying.
crazy.
Like, you was exposed to so much, you know, creativity and so much like.
It was wild. I met so many famous people.
And little did you know that was your passion.
Right, exactly. And so what happened was...
That's how you know what's for you is for you, though. You heard? Because years later, it
fact.
comes back and smacks you like, toma.
I always say that. What's for you
Numbers are acting. Numbers are acting. Acting wins.
You know what I'm saying?
And thank God it did.
And so so I remember one time I was sending one of the workers to on his break.
Because he had the thing and he used to send them. He used to
and I was like,
if you don't get over there, I'm keeping your paycheck.
Affirmative, sending him on the break now. And I was like, Paul, you gotta go. And he was like, cool. Hey, Mark. He's like, what do you do? And I was like, well, I'm a mechanical engineer. And he was like, no. And I started laughing. And I was like, but you know, he's like a white guy, so I was like, whoa. I was like, what's up? Like,
Right. What do you say?
What do you mean?
like
Can't
a
be
Puerto
a
Rican
mechanical
from Spanish
engineer?
Harlem can't be a
Engineer?
mechanical engineer. You know what I'm saying? He was like, no, I didn't mean it like that. He was just like, you know, like your energy. Like I would have thought you was an actor. And I was like, what does that mean?
There you go
You know what I mean?
again.
Potential.
And so that
We
was
saw
like
it.
where it really, because I did a play in high school that was like, I guess you could say the root of the idea of being an actor. But when you're being, you know, when you're a Latino or when you come from the hood in general, like your parents aren't like, you know, like be an actor. Like what the fuck?
That
Who the
job don't get a
don't.
secure check.
Listen,
You know
my
what
mother
I mean?
That
tried to
job
put
don't
me.
get a secure check. I'm gonna need you to do
Right.
security.
She tried to put me in nursing
Right.
in high
Right.
school, and then tried to put me in nursing again in college. I was like, excuse me.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, no, look, again, I'm blessed to have the parents I have. I you know, I owe everything to them because they supported me, you know, in a
That's
very
dope.
unconditional way.
That's
So-
great.
Because can you imagine? I got home and they were like, "So how was your school day?" And I was like, "So I kind of took a leap of faith." They was like, "Huh?" I was like, "Yeah, what's that leap of faith?" And I
I'm
was like,
taking theater.
"Yeah," I was like, well,
They were like, what kind of theater? The movie theater?
yeah, it just kind of went from mechanical engineering to theater. They was like, "What?" Mind you, they're paying for my college, so you know. But it was just that kind of thing where like you gotta listen to what your heart is telling you. You gotta really listen to what your soul and your
So
spirit, your
listen
body
to
is
your
telling you. You know what I mean?
heart.
Because people are gonna tell you whatever advice that they have from the experiences that they've had in their lives.
They project
Which,
their bullshit.
which, and I'm not even gonna say they bullshit. It's their experiences, right? It's
Right.
their truth.
Right.
It's their either some trauma
So
or
true.
something that wants to tell you like,
Yes.
this
Yes.
is, you know, I tried to do it and it didn't work, or
And they
you
think
know
they're
what I mean?
doing it with a good
And-
intention.
and
It's
right,
not even
it's
with malice.
all with good
right.
intention.
Right. It's not with malice.
But
It's true.
you have to come back
Like,
to
don't
that
follow in my
place.
footsteps.
Right.
How
You
you
got-
know your footsteps ain't gonna lead me to the goal?
Right.
Right, you gotta come back to yourself, believe in yourself in a different way, where it's like, you know, you still have to live your life like for you.
Right.
You still have to make these decisions and live through all of them. You're by yourself.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so it was like, well, if they don't support me, then I'm going to figure out another way to make it happen.
Right.
You know, I wasn't thinking about, are they going to, like, this isn't going to stop me. That's not a make or break for me if they were going to support me or not. You know, it was like, well, this is what I got to do. And
But that goes to show that they did the right thing with you too, because that comes from home too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. But that's what I mean. Like, they
Right,
molded.
like, yeah,
like, I
that's
saw, like,
dope.
it was so funny because at one point my mom then was like, like she got kind of frustrated with the way I think. And I'm like, but you made me like this. Like, what the
Right,
fuck?
right.
I question everything. What's the problem?
Right.
Like, I'm not just, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to just take it for what's on the surface.
Right.
Like, you know, so anyway, thankfully they were just kind of like, okay, cool. And then, you know, I kind of had like that test semester run. You know, it was like, well,
Let's see what he do.
You better show.
Right.
Them
Let's
grades
see
better
what you
come
do.
in. You know
Fucking
what I'm
act your
saying?
ass off, motherfucker. You
I
know,
better
so,
see you on Cinemax.
A is for acting, so get all the A's.
But as it, you know, the way I am, I mean, I throw my whole life and soul at everything I get into, and so you know, I that semester as a freshman theater major, you weren't allowed to do more than one production a semester. I did 3. You know,
Because
what I
you was
mean?
nice and shit. You
Yeah.
Marco Juvia.
Whoa, I don't know. I you know, I was like,
They said we need Marco
I didn't know the
Juvia.
rules. I'll say this. Because I didn't know the rules, I was just doing.
Mixing and
I
everything.
was just going.
You was in the mix. Yeah.
like,
You was
what
like, oh,
rules?
yeah.
Oh, that was a rule. Well, they want me now. What? You know. And so
Right.
because I was just like at this audition, like let's just go. Let's do it. 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 You know. I just really put my whole life into it. And then by the end of that semester, I did like a 1-act play festival. And
Wow.
that one was really good. And when my parents saw that one, they were both like, "All right, we
That's
get it.
dope.
We get it." Like,
That's
you know.
dope. They pulled up and watched.
Well, no, they came to almost every
Everything? Oh,
single
dope,
one.
dope, dope.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
fire.
No, the
You
support
really got a
system.
great support system.
The support
Yeah,
system
that
is
was great.
That's
there.
shout
to the parents.
Facts. The whole family.
You know what? Let's take a
Facts. You
cheers to
know.
them.
Salud.
That's a fact.
salute to the daddy and the mommy.
Salud. You know, I mean, cheers to the support family, right? Which sometimes isn't your actual family members.
That's a fact.
You know, your support family could be your close friends. It could be,
and
know,
that's another
sometimes
thing that I love
coworkers.
about y'all too. Like getting into that.
Yes,
like this
let's
is
get
not.
into it.
You guys really all look out for each other.
Oh yeah.
Like
Oh,
that.
yeah.
This is, you know, when you're kids, like you all like, yo, when we get older, we're gonna do this and we're gonna do that, and you come up with all these plans. But these motherfuckers really do it. You get that?
You know about the Have a Good Night crew?
Right.
They manifest it, yeah.
Like no, y'all really work
Like, have a-
together.
have a
Shout out
good
to the
night,
Have a
Pop.
Good Night crew. Like y'all really work together
Shout out
and
to
just
Have a
big
Good
up
Night crew, yeah.
each other and work
Yep.
with each other, and you have a dope
Yeah.
support system all the way around. That's a blessing.
They're all great. They're great vibes. They're just
Oh yeah.
Great
I mean,
creatives.
you know, Rome wasn't built overnight.
Right.
but it's
You know, it
definitely in
definitely
the
took some
process.
time. You know, just not speeding up through the whole process, because then boom, that was it. Then like I graduated in 2012 with a BA in theater, and then I just hit the ground
So-
running, performing theater all over the city, literally. I've done a lot of theater, and then you know
And is that your passion though? Like is that your favorite?
You know, I think I've come to a place in my artistry where I understand that my passion is actually storytelling. You understand?
Ooh.
Like-
and that's why you
Like
are
overall.
a filmographer. Yes,
You know
but
what I
that's
mean?
why because you can
it-
see the whole vision.
It all rooted and stems from acting, which is almost the core, right? Because how could you tell the story, at least in a cinematic way, without actors? Because you can have an animation,
right.
right? But as far as like cinematic storytelling goes, it's such an essential part to understand emotions. You see, actors, you know, people think acting is memorizing lines.
Right, and that's
People
it.
think acting
Like easy
is, you know,
Shed a
oh wait,
tear here and
I
there.
so I
Right.
sit here, and when she
Right.
says this, I pick up
Right.
this cup and I drink on that cue.
And that's it. That's it.
And then
Cut.
I say my line.
Right.
No, acting, you know, on a much, much deeper level is, and I tell people all the time, it's really the study of life. You understand? Because the more observant the actor is in detail, like all around, the more specific they are with their choices, right? Because you see, we get a script, right?
Right.
And our job is to
Bring it to life.
read the script, right? And then bring it to life, but then that's too vague, right? Like, how do you do that? What does that mean? Bring it to life. What does that mean?
And if they're choosing you, they want you to put your
Right.
twist to it.
Right.
Like
I mean,
your,
well, bring your life to it.
Right.
Right. And then that's why, you know, for any of those performers that have to go on auditions, my advice would be take a risk and be yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because I can't tell you how many auditions
great advice.
I've walked into, and I brought whatever flavor I wanted to this scene, to this character,
That's what I'm
whatever
saying.
I
Yes,
wanted
you're
to do.
right.
I don't know what they want.
Right.
I
You're
seen
fl-
something that I think is dope. I'm gonna come in confidently and just showtime it. And then if you fuck with it, you fuck with it. If not,
you
then I'm
don't,
on to
you
the
don't.
next
That's
one.
Scooby-Doo.
You can't overthink these things in the acting industry. But you know, again, acting. But back to the whole acting and study of life, because you understand, the deeper you go into like nuances. Like
Right.
every person has nuances. We have habits. We have,
Right.
you know, fears, dreams, worries. This, all of these things.
It's
you
really
know,
creating a character.
like, it's just so much to consider, right? And the best way to approach these things, at least in my opinion, is number one, know yourself, right? And constantly know and learn who you are every single time. Because I like to say this all the time: you're as old as you've ever been, and you're as young as you'll ever be. Every second.
That's a fact.
Every second.
And it sounds so simple, but like
Exactly.
when you really think
But you got-
about it,
right?
it's such a deep statement.
No, for sure.
Like you really are, like every chance is a learning moment. Like
Right.
if you let it be, like you're never the same person. Like you are not defined by what, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like
Absolutely.
it's just, I
Right.
get it. I get
well,
it.
because, you know, and that's for the people that are like, you know, and because I want to make this point because this is real recognized, you know what I'm saying? We real here.
Right.
And I think a
Eat a
lot of
brownie to
people,
that. Eat a brownie.
I know, right?
do another
I
one.
think,
Do a cookie. This
I'm gonna do a cookie,
yes, he upgraded to a cookie. It's going down. It's going down.
So if I slow down in about 30 minutes, y'all know why.
Right.
Oh my God.
Right.
Shout out to Real Wrecking
Y'all
High.
heard?
Oh,
Shout out
my
to Real
Lord.
Wrecking High.
Nah, you know what? The point I want to say is that I think a lot of people, when they talk about being real, they think the idea is that you're the same person forever.
Right.
You understand? And I don't think that's not how life was meant to be experienced,
Right.
right? You could stay on the block your whole life and then there's that. Or you can go out and, you can be you in Japan.
Everywhere.
You can be you
Exactly.
in Scotland. You can be you, wherever the fuck you want to be. You be yourself, right? But it's also, my advice would be make you a part of you also understanding you again. You know what I mean? Like constantly growing, constantly trying to understand things. But that's the actor's mind, right? Like that's, so for example, in that piece that you were talking about, the emotional one where I'm like,
right.
I'm like Juviendo.
Listen, no.
Lloviendo.
But that was
I'm
a
llorando.
strong fucking piece. You know what I'm saying? Now, you got to understand, I'm used to seeing him in funny shit, in skits. So, when I see this serious shit, I was like, oh, because, I big up New York. I big up Puerto Ricans. Y'all already know. I big up anybody that's trying to do something creatively. And, So I'm like, all right. And I seen he was looking for people to vote. So I watched this thing. And I was like, dude, real talk. Like, he was crying. Like, you felt the emotion.
Let me see
and
you
I'm
cry.
sitting there. No.
It don't work that way.
He's eating weed. You know you can't cry when you're on weed.
I forgot.
You can't cry on weed.
Your tear drugs.
There's no tears
If
on
I
weed.
start crying after eating this because I'm paranoid.
Don't cry. No crying.
I'm gonna die.
Y'all gotta drive me home. It's over.
I can't feel my tongue. Nah.
No, but for real,
but it's true.
that was a dope. That was dope. That was dope.
And you gotta just, constantly again.
So would you
learn who
consider
are.
yourself
Stress
a methodical actor, or would you
Or like
consider
an
yourself yeah?
Or do you have a
I've
label?
done. Well, I don't like to put myself in a box.
That's dope.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I mean?
That's dope.
I love the art of storytelling, right? And so it's just understanding everything to a deeper level, right? Like comedy. What is comedy? Comedy is just not ha ha ha. It's not just jokes. What is that, right? There's different genres of comedy. People don't even know.
Right.
I don't know all of them off the top of my head, but there's there's slapstick, there's
Right.
satire, there's
Right.
improv,
There's
just so many different types. There's stand up.
Yeah,
You understand?
dramedy, right.
And here's the thing. So when you understand
There's porn comedy. There's porn comedy.
right? I mean,
I've seen it.
Funny ass porn,
I've
right?
seen it.
right.
They funny. Squirting the iron shit.
It
You
make
know,
me
funny
laugh and shit.
Go ahead.
If y'all see my porn, it's a comedy. Let me stop.
I'm done.
OnlyFans coming up.
It's right, Marco Juvia.
Marco Juvia.
Marco Lluvia.
That's why it's a comedy.
Solamente fanáticos.
Paquetucha Lluvia.
Solamente fanáticos. I'm done. Wait, what was I saying?
Sorry.
You was
sorry.
giving the audience your OnlyFans.
No, that's coming soon. Look for it. It's gonna be under ad Magic Mark. Anyway,
Heard you.
so
I'm
Heard you.
dead.
Nah, let me stop.
AKA Marco Juvia.
I love it.
oh right. So I was just giving an example about being observers of life and
Right.
studying life.
Right.
I could give you a celebrity example, like Daniel Day-Lewis. Just say right, like that's a really big actor, character
absolutely.
actor. He does strong character work, and not everyone can do that. It takes a whole nother level of commitment, of dedication, of diving deep into some whole rabbit hole where like he becomes Abraham Lincoln, right? But that's why you don't see Daniel Day-Lewis do so much work.
Right.
Because he's like, give me $100 million for this one role, and then I won't do another
And I'll
movie.
become him.
Yeah. And then I got to self-care after that.
Because
He said, I'm going to do the Joker and I'm going to think I'm him.
what people don't understand or take into account or even know to consider is that when you're playing these characters, the deeper you dive into them, the more they affect your own personal
Yeah, you
life.
could get
You
stuck.
understand? I did a play one time at Theater for the New City, which is shout out to them, great theater location downtown, and it was a play called Last Man Out,
Okay.
and it was a play about suicide.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And I played, a young man in the military who was suffering from PTSD.
Wow, that's deep.
And it's not to get too deep into the play. It was a super deep.
No, but that's dope.
That's
Well,
deep.
well,
That's deep
But you gotta
in
understand,
itself.
like,
PTSD
as an
is
actor,
something hard
right?
to play.
Here comes the moment of the play where my character now he takes himself. You understand? And he puts a gun up and he shoots himself in the face.
Oh my
right?
God.
And so it's like now as an actor, you're trained that there's no pretending.
Right.
You understand? It's what you're doing.
Right.
You understand? And then but then that's going deeper into like, what do they call it? Like you said, method actors.
Right.
Like, if my character does cocaine, I got to do cocaine. I don't go that far.
Yeah, I'm just gonna sniff an 8-ball because I'm playing Scarface this
Only
month.
on Saturdays. Only on Saturdays.
But here's the thing: some do, and the theory behind it is that how am I gonna act like I'm getting high if I've never gotten high?
Right.
You understand? And it's about the study of life.
The studying of people.
The studying of life.
Yeah,
it's
because you can see
understanding.
someone else and
It's the study
understand
of this is how this person reacts.
Right.
when
It's
they're
being
under
able to
this.
empathize.
This is what
Yes.
this feels like.
Yes.
This is what this is, and that's why a lot of actors are come out damaged sometimes.
They do. Right.
Rest in peace to like Heath Ledger, but
Or even
Yeah,
Robin
that's what
Williams.
I mean,
I
said it as a joke.
A lot of his
but that's
talk-
real.
Yeah,
like
a lot
he really
of-
got stuck in his role, you know.
Well,
Right.
you just
Tupac,
the thing
right.
is,
Juice.
here's the
Right.
thing: when you're living in the moment, right, and when you're acting, you have to justify everything you're doing. You understand? This isn't just the director told me to pick this bottle up and put it over here during this part, and so that's what I'm doing. No, I have to justify this as an actor. As a character. The director may not even give me that. If they're a good director, then they're going to help me discover this. But if they don't, then it's the actor's job to now discover, why am I taking this bottle and I'm putting it
Right.
I can just, and that's up to me, you understand? And now this is where I can play, this is my playtime. Because I can be like, I'm putting it here because I want to bring it close to her because I'm trying to get something from her. You understand? It can be anything I want.
Now, is that where
You know
your
what I mean?
mechanical engineer brain comes in?
Yeah, because he does
right.
numbers and shit.
Right, well,
so, you
but
know,
that's a part of the
he be
craft.
mathematically
Yeah,
making it
like-
math and shit.
Right, he be mathing, the math.
That's
The
a
math
fact.
was mathing.
That's
The
a
math
fact.
is definitely
But
mathing.
I will say, I mean, the engineering side of my brain does lend into my acting because of I can critically analyze and
Yeah,
see
because I
studies
hear you
is
saying
bigger.
the plus, the times, and then the equal.
You know what I mean?
I
'Cause
have a
now I'm
question.
seeing
Right.
everything.
Right.
So since your mind is so mechanical and so numbered, right? When bitches be trying to hit you with bullshit, right? You be like, nah, bitch, that shit ain't adding up.
Yeah, I mean, I don't talk.
I don't
like
think
that,
so,
but-
because he's still a nigga. And you know these bitches be conniving. Like, these bitches is good at what
bitch,
they
he
do.
does the equation.
Nah.
He said, no, bitch, fat ass.
But that's a
Yeah,
different
I'm outta
math,
here.
though.
I'm
That's a
outta
different
here.
math. Like, we don't know if he's good at that math. We know he's good with numbers, not the multiple
Yo,
holes.
Okay, no. We know that he's
Like,
good at math.
the multiple
so he's
holes, that's a
knowing
different math and
no,
shit.
Multiple
he's
holes is a
knowing,
different
right?
math.
He's knowing
Yo,
that he doesn't need a 10,
fucking funny.
right? Because if he got a 10, there's no numbers left over to fuck with. So he got to get himself a 6.
Listen.
That way he got 4 in the area of the equation, and then it maths up.
Nah, but what
I think
happens
she
is
lost.
with most sixes.
She
but
lost
with
all of
most-
us. She lost all of
Nah.
us.
It made sense. My shit
She
made
lost
sense.
all of us.
Nah, but most sixes is really a 4, and they just got makeup on for extra 2.
But they
Yo, I'm outta
they
here.
are 4 with the
So-
2
Listen,
left over,
I'm
but
good
you
at-
could carry the
I'm
2
good at all the math. Don't worry.
and
Just know
add the
that.
decimals.
He said you hoes ain't loyal.
All the multiples and all
you
that, I know
hoes
all
ain't
that.
loyal. He up on all the game. You heard?
I ain't been this single this long and not know the game. I tell you that
Yeah,
much.
because he said your bitches ain't adding up.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I don't talk like that, but like, you know. When
It's
the-
alright. We can say
He
it
said
for
you
you.
hoes ain't
We're
mad.
saying what you're
Well, look,
thinking.
just-
Don't
just-
worry.
just know this,
You
like-
bitches jumping in the DM
Well,
all
like-
thirsty and shit. That
just
don't
know
work.
this. If
Like,
you're
bitch, don't
getting
jump in the
involved-
DM. Go jump in Sky Zone.
Yo,
Right.
I'm done. If you're trying to get involved with me, like what you have to know is I'm an actor, professional
heard?
actor, and my language is body language. Do you understand?
So he know when you
And
lying.
so like, right.
He worse
I
than
know
Santa Claus.
everything.
He know when you lying. He know when you awake.
Your
He
body
know when
gonna
you
talk to me.
ignoring your phone.
When you
He know when you
hungry.
fronting.
All of that.
When you tired.
And
so-
he'll
so
let you
the
know if
best
you was
part
naughty
is,
and
though-
nice, because I'm sure he got a list.
But
He
the
keeps
best
the naughty
part
bitches
is-
on the good list.
The best part is choosing how to respond. You understand? To the fuckery.
Right.
Whatever it is. You see, because that's in like my eyes seeing everything and being like, okay, I see what you're doing. But where's my focus? Where's my priority? What
There's
do
a
I
lot
want?
of
You know what I
fuckery.
mean? Like,
Right.
you know, am I going to let this bother me? Like, I'm not. It really depends. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
because then we're both playing games. All right.
No, because what happens
And
is
I don't-
I'm sure, right? Because this is me. And I'm smart, and you smart, and our numbers math, and we math it
And
up.
I'm smart.
You know what I'm
This bitch be
saying, right?
forgetting about me.
So like, boom. So right. So check it out. I know for a fact when you see the bullshit, you be like, he. Your bullshit stink. I'll see you later.
Oh yeah,
It's just funny.
Right.
You know, honestly, it doesn't get too far with me.
I be laughing at
if
niggas.
I feel the
I be
fuckery.
like, you said that?
You know what I
Right.
mean?
I
Already.
mean, you can't
I don't
let
have
it get
time.
too far. I was just going to
I don't
say
have
that.
time.
You're too
I don't-
busy to let
I-
shit like that get too far.
I don't have time to entertain fuckery.
Like, we making movies and shit.
I'm
doing
too-
videos and
This
shit.
is what I'm saying.
Like-
These niggas is breakdancing in wigs and shit.
And a lot of these bitches can't respect that.
Like, they don't
You get it, though?
understand that.
A lot of these bitches is just thirsty.
It wouldn't
for the
add up
clout.
in their head. The equation will not equal 2.
Right. Right.
Yeah. So
This is real recognized and we equal to 100. You heard? Because that's how we keep it. But
All
go
the
ahead.
time.
We mathing over here.
All the time.
yeah, but that's a whole nother different conversation.
Right.
That's a whole
Exactly.
other topic.
No, but
you
back
know
to
what
the
I'm
acting
saying?
thing. The point is, you heard?
But so you know, okay. So the point that I wanted to make, because
Right.
I know he was saying, you know, like break time almost coming up,
Right.
or my fault. And so you
It's
know,
coming up and
so
shit, we
in
gonna
in that emotional piece, right? A lot of people was asking me like, "Yo, but how did you?"
Right. How did
Like-
you? It's true. Where did you go?
They were like, "Yeah." They were
Right. Like, where did you?
they
You
were like,
delved into some
Were
shit.
you really
So,
crying?
Did you like
You know what I
dig
mean?
into
You
your
were
soul?
really
Did you
crying.
like think of something that bothered you?
No, I mean, you know, another thing you have to understand about this is that what's gonna work for you is probably not gonna work for someone else.
All right, I got a question,
Right.
right?
Wait. I
You're
want to hear
about
how
to
he did
cry.
this. Wait, I want to hear how he did the scene.
Okay.
But
He's
wait,
telling us. Yeah.
yeah.
Go ahead, go
I
ahead.
want to hear how you
Okay,
did it.
Hold on to that
Listen.
question.
Right.
So-
I'm
I'm
gonna hold
sorry,
it, but I
I'm
forget
curious.
because I be
thing.
leaving.
So like again, the study of life, right? So when you're crying
Oh yeah,
in
it's
real
about crying,
life,
not questions about
like
crying.
in real life, when you're really crying in real life, you know,
Right.
and the next time you're crying, I want you to pay attention to how you're breathing. See, when
how you're
when we're
breathing.
crying, or when we're in the moment, when we're experiencing something, we're not thinking
About
oh my
breathing.
God, how am I feeling?
No. Yeah.
Right, like literally feeling. How am I breathing
Right.
in this moment? We're not thinking that. We're just
No.
going through the emotion.
Overcome
We're
with
going through the
emotion. Right,
experience.
right.
You know what I mean? And this is where, like, as an actor's work is almost endless and it never stops because, yeah, there's like, you know, I find myself, you know, in real life, maybe a breakup or something. I'm like literally heartbroken. I'm crying. Literally, I've caught myself like, okay, wait a minute. What am I feeling right now? How am I breathing? Right? Because you breathe a certain way when you're crying. You breathe a certain way when you're mad. You breathe a certain way when you're like
looking?
excited. You see? She like stared
Right.
at me
Right.
and she's crying.
Right.
Right? But it's like, but it's not, the thing isn't to cry. You understand? Like, that's what you have to understand.
I'm just saying I
like,
could do it.
Right.
Word.
Shout out to you.
You know what I'm
Word.
saying?
Good shit.
Okay,
Good
okay.
shit.
She about to get
She
cast
got
in my
it.
next
Right,
drama. You
right.
heard?
Yo, everybody want to cast me every time I break a tear,
That's
right?
it.
Yes.
I break a
It's a
tear.
skill.
Me
I'll be
too,
like,
but
you
for
know
the
what, you
jokes.
throw it.
It's a skill. No, but it's not just about crying because if you're going into a scene
Right.
where it has that emotional depth, right? The last thing you want to do as an actor is be like, and this is where I cry, and this is where I cry,
Yeah, no.
because you're not gonna fucking.
It's not gonna cry. You're not
Right.
gonna
Chances
tear
are you're not gonna cry
at all.
You need to connect. You understand? You need to connect to your breathing. You need to connect to the emotion. You need to connect to the relationship of what's happening here.
Yes.
Right. In this piece, I'm like mourning my wife's death.
That
Right.
was deep.
I've never had a wife, so I don't know what that feels like.
Right.
Right. So I got to connect to something in my life, though. I've definitely experienced death in my life multiple times in different ways, so I connect to these things. I've had heartbreak, I've had loss, I connect to these things, or I could connect to fears, but it all starts with the breathing, right? So like we got to the set, he's like, okay, this is what I want to do, blah, this is what we're gonna do. He's like, the director, shout out to Adam Gonzalez, the director's like, we're gonna start with the emotional stuff, and I was like, damn. Like, we're not even gonna ease up into it. You know what I'm saying? We're going right to the tears.
Right.
All right.
Heard you.
Let's go. You know, you have to find what helps you connect there. And what helped me in this piece was the music. You know, the music we use for the film is very emotional. You know, and
It is a beautiful piece.
you gotta just be
It
able.
does take you there. I get it.
You know why acting is so tough for a lot of people? Because you have to be vulnerable.
Yes.
You understand? You have to
Leave yourself
openly
open. Right.
and
Right.
purposefully be vulnerable
Right.
to these feelings that you're
Right.
feeling, right? Because when you're crying, you're not trying to cry. You're actually trying not to cry.
Right. You want to stop crying.
You're
That's a
probably
fact.
not trying
You
to
never
cry.
really try to cry.
Right? Like, who's fucking trying to cry?
Right.
Well, then again,
All
some
right.
people are like,
So check it out,
frauds
right?
out here. They be like,
Check it out, Mark. What we got for you?
what up? What up?
So we just rolled up these beautiful ass blunts, right?
I'm excited.
We're gonna go on a break.
Love
I'm
it.
excited.
We're gonna get really high.
Again.
When we come
Record
back,
highs.
more than the
more than
edibles.
we high already.
Real
we
recognized is
come
getting
back-
Mark real recognized.
Yeah.
Facts. When we come back, we're going to play a little game.
Oh, I'm
Okay.
excited.
Okay. And then we're going to talk about what you have coming up in your future.
Cool.
Because we really want to know what you got coming up.
Right, because there's another
Lit.
project that we
and
want to
what's
talk
been
about because
more,
he had 2
what's
leading
been more
roles.
recent,
Just so y'all know.
you know, is you.
Lit.
We don't have enough time to talk about as much work as you
Right.
do.
I
No, but
appreciate
what I'm
that.
saying is
Yeah.
y'all need to check out these projects
Yes,
real quick
absolutely.
before we go out before this break. Anna Adore on Prime.
Yes.
Let me tell you something.
Absolutely.
Get that. You heard? Watch that. Let's get these numbers up because this is an amazing piece with an amazing actor. He's the lead role. And also in Subpoena, he's the lead
a
role.
fact.
You heard?
Oh, yeah.
Facts.
Like,
That's what's up.
and these is
Subpoena, that
gems. You
sound like some
heard? Like,
shit.
you want to see
Well, I heard it was Pina.
the different facets of his ability? You know what I'm saying? Like the scope and shit.
Check out my IG too
So
if you want to
Subpoena-
see some extended.
What's the IG?
Add Mark_Rain. That's REIGN. Rain.
Right.
Mark with a C.
Right. Mark with a C
you gotta
underscore
check
Rain.
out, you
You
know.
already know. Check him out.
Alternate personality, Marco Jubia.
Marco
Word up.
Juvia. Yup.
We made that. You know we always
my
be
alter
making.
ego.
He came from River
Other
Recognize.
ones, you know
Marco
what I'm saying?
Juvia.
That's
Marco
my
Juvia was born here.
That's
Right.
my novella.
Right.
Alter ego.
Right.
Marco Juvia.
He was born here.
So y'all already know. We'll be back with
Thank
a game.
you.
Bless up.
Don't go nowhere, yo.
I'm so excited.
Ready.